Alright folks, today we're going over 6-5 x and y intercepts of a line on page 164. The objectives here are to find the x and y intercepts of a line given its equation, then to find given its graph, and then to be able to graph an equation using the x and y intercepts. Alright, so the x-intercept, so right here we have a nice coordinate plane with a line, with a straight line going through it. The x-intercept is the point where the line hits the x-axis. So remember, your horizontal line is your x-axis. So right here, that's the point right there. Well, that was a good job I just made. Okay. So that's for your x. Okay, and then for your y-intercept, that's the point where the line hits at the y-axis. That is going to be right here. Okay. So think about like a football player whenever they intercept the ball, right? The line is the footballs or the basketball or the baseball, whatever, is thrown in a straight line, and if somebody intercepts it, that's that point at where the ball is caught by the opposite team. Okay? Alright, how to find the x and y intercepts from an equation. Okay, so right here you have y equals negative 3x minus 1. So this is a linear equation. Linear equation is an equation whose graph is a line, and you'll see this in the next couple lessons. It'll make sense. Okay, so you have your y here and your x here, right? Okay, so if I want to find what my y-intercept is, all I do is make my x a 0, and I plug that into the equation. So y equals negative 3, and make my x a 0. Finish the equation. So negative 3 times 0 is 0. 0 minus 1 is going to be a negative 1. So my y-intercept is going to be a negative 1. So y-int equals negative 1. Okay? So if to find the y-intercept, you put that x equals 0, what should we do to find the x-intercept? That's right, folks. Make your y 0. So let's do y is going to be 0. So we'll do a little line. Let's do y is going to be 0 equals negative 3x minus 1. Okay, so let's solve for x here. So this is just like a simple equation that we worked on before. So we're going to add 3x to both sides. Okay, so now we have 3x equals a negative 1. Let's divide by 3 on both sides. And the point where it hits the x-axis is a negative 1/3. Okay, so now let's take a look at a graph and see if we can figure out what the x and y intercepts just from simply looking at the graph. Okay, alrighty, so if we look at our first point right here, this one right here, okay, that coordinate is going to be 0, 2, negative 2, okay? Then let's look at the other point right here. Okay, that's going to be 1, 0, okay? So when we look at our x and y intercepts, okay, this line right here, this straight line, hits on the y-axis at negative 2. So our y-intercept is going to be negative 2. Hits on the x-axis at a positive 1. Let me just erase that for you so you can see. At a positive 1. So our x-intercept is going to be a positive 1. Okay? It's as simple as that. You don't need to write out the coordinates like that if you don't want to. If you can just simply look at the graph and see where it hits at those exact points on either axis, that's totally fine as well. So that one's pretty easy. Alrighty, so let's practice finding the x and y intercepts with these equations. Alrighty, so let's go for let's draw a little line here. Let's go for our y-intercept first. If I don't know what our y-intercept is, I'm just going to go put that x in for 0. Put the 0 in for x. Okay, so y is going to equal negative 10. That's what that first y-intercept is going to be. So then let's put it in for our x-intercept. So for x-intercept, our y is going to equal 0. And then this is going to equal 2x minus 10. Again, if you want to subtract 2x on both sides, if you want to add 10 on both sides, so it's your choice. We'll get the same answer. So I'm going to add 10 on both sides, just to shake it up a little bit. So we have 10 equals 2x. Okay, to solve for x, let's divide by 2 on both sides. 10 divided by 2 is 5, so the x-intercept is 5. So we have our y-intercept is negative 10. Our x-intercept is going to be a positive 5. Alrighty, over here, let's do, there we go. Let's do y equals 2/3 x plus 5. Okay, same thing. So right now I want you to pause the video and see if you can find out the correct x and y intercepts for this particular linear equation. Okay, pause the bad boy. Okay, so if you got that the y-intercept is going to be a positive 5 and your x-intercept is a negative 7 1/2, that is correct, amundo, my folks. Okay, so let's do one more together. And the ones that are ending up as mixed numbers are just because I made them up in my head, so they're not super fabulous. Okay, so let's do y equals 11x minus 11. Okay, so I'm going to find out what my y-intercept is here by plugging that in for 0. So let's do y equals 11 times 0 minus 11. So this is going to be y-intercept equals negative 11. Let's find out what that x-intercept is. So 0 equals 11x minus 11. Okay, so we're just going to add 11 on both sides. So we have 11 equals 11x. Let's divide by 11 on both sides. Get x isolated. So we have 1 equals x. So our final answer here is going to be x-intercept equals 1. Y-intercept, just do it the same way, it's confusing, equals negative 11. Okay? Alright, I want you to work on the try these at the bottom of the page of 165. Do the try these numbers 1 through 9 all in your notebooks, okay? Good luck, guys. I'll see you tomorrow.